Eskom says it needs to intensify the pace of delivery in some areas over the next 2 to 3 years. This is despite the positive results achieved so far. It says the sustained improved energy availability and the additional 2,500 megawatts expected online early next year will ensure that load shedding is implemented only in exceptional circumstances. Eskom has been providing an update to members of Parliament's Standing Committee of Appropriations Oversight during an oversight visit at Megawatt Park. SABC News' economics reporter Nosipho Radebe is there and spoke to Eskom executives.
Right, Diabo, we are still here at Megawatt Park, where the Standing Committee on Public Accounts is continuing its oversight of Eskom. Now, it follows its visit yesterday at Medupi, where it got an update on the progress there at that power station. We understand from the presentation from Eskom executives here today that Medupi, it is critical for that power station's Unit 4 to come back online by March next year, and that's part of their generation recovery plan. But this visit by SCOPA is the first of the 7th administration and follows previous visits by the 6th administration, getting an update on the progress that Eskom is making to turn its financial situation as well as performance situation around. But to get an update from Parliament, I'm joined now by SCOPA Chair Songezo Zibi. Songezo, a very good day and welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Talk to us then about what was the overview that you got from Eskom yesterday from your visit at Medupi?
Yesterday we spent the day at Medupi with the head of generation, Mr. Beginumalo, as well as the team that's managing that project and power station. And that issue is Unit 4, I think, because South Africans want to know whether we are going to get the 700 plus megawatts that should come back on stream. We're first assured that it is going to come back by March next year and be synchronized to the grid, which will help to relieve the load on the grid, especially in light of the expenditure on diesel that we know that is a very big concern for SCOPA, it's a concern for South Africans. The second thing, I think, is the stockpile of about 14 million tons of coal at Medupi. Basically, because Medupi was delayed, the corresponding mine, which is an Exaro mine, started supplying Eskom coal that they could not use. We need to get rid of that coal on terms that are financially helpful to Eskom and also don't lead to retrenchments at the mine that is supplying. We are putting pressure not just on Eskom but also the minister when we see the minister in Parliament over the next few weeks to make sure that this is resolved as quickly as possible, because the problem is if we continue to have that stockpile, because the mine continues to supply Eskom, we will never get rid of it, and we need to get rid of it somehow.
One of the issues that was raised today, the ballooning, when we turn to the financial situation at Eskom, is the ballooning municipal debt. We've heard metros now also struggling to pay Eskom. Talk to us about what are your concerns in SCOPA hearing that?
So as South Africans know, there is a revenue increase application by Eskom of 36% and then decreasing in the outer years, but it's money that South Africans cannot afford. But it's really important that we also help Eskom in other ways. Municipalities currently owe Eskom about 85 billion rand. By March next year, it will be 98 billion. By March 2026, it will be 128 billion. So what you have is Eskom continuing to supply municipalities with electricity that does not get paid for. The outcome, part of the outcome of that, they ask for higher price increases on a regular basis. We have to balance these three things together. Of course, the fourth one being cost management at Eskom. The next phase of the presentation is that they are going to share with us how they are making Eskom's operations more efficient financially as well.
But before we get that presentation, so far, your reflections then on what Eskom's presented?
So, look, it's clear that Eskom is turning around. We like the fact that the operational structure has been changed in order to make sure that it is more efficient. It focuses on delivering electricity to South Africans. That's a good thing. We like the fact that they're disciplining both suppliers and employees. The accountability now sits in the Chief Executive's office with the Program Management Office to make sure that each and every flag supplier is reviewed, given an opportunity to have their say-so. And if they're guilty, that we blacklist them, not just at Eskom, but everywhere. That's how we're going to start fighting the cancer of corruption. There's vetting of employees. We're going to get the presentation on that to see how employees are vetted, how many bad apples are still in the system, and how many have been got rid of. So the picture is improving, and it's important for South Africans to continue to support efforts to improve state-owned companies, whether it is Eskom or Transnet, while holding them accountable to the money that the government and the South African people give to them to meet their mandate.
All right, thank you so much for your time, Songezo. Diabo, as you heard it there from the chair of SCOPA, Songezo Zibi, just outlining that the work of the committee here continues. SCOPA, by the way, is joined by the Standing Committee on Appropriations here. They're also getting that update on Eskom. As you heard, Eskom turning the corner, but still some challenges there that have arisen. But they'll continue to get that update or that presentation from the Eskom executives here present for this oversight meeting. Over to you, Diabo, there in studio.
Thanks for the update, Nosipho.